Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this week's dose of celestial goodness. As always, thank you for joining me in this space and on this journey. I truly appreciate your presence and your time. So, I wasn't actually sure whether I'd be able to summon the energy to write something this week and to film my video. Something happened on Thursday that I'm still grappling with, and it really is a bit surreal to me that I'm taking it so seriously while the world seems to carry on as though this event was just another day in the office. I don't want to make a mountain from a molehill, but yet my mind keeps wandering back to Thursday. On Thursday morning, I woke up and I went out to the living room to greet the sun. Our apartment has really great views towards the east and to the west, so I'm pretty fortunate because I can see both the sunrise and the sunset. And in the wee hours of the morning, when the rest of the world is sleeping, and I can hear some gentle and not so gentle snores from you-know-who, Plant Daddy. I get my coffee or my tea, I talk to the plants, and I really just marvel at the magnitude and the magnificence of nature. Each day truly is like witnessing a painting unfolding in front of me. And in these really precious, quiet moments of the morning, I can hear myself think. I can hear myself breathing. I can hear my heart beat. And I'm really reminded of the beauty of it all. Even when I know that the world will wake up later and try to remind me that it's otherwise. So, as it was on Thursday morning, I drank my tea, and then I went to take my shower. I have a eucalyptus bundle hanging in the shower, and so everything steams up and it just smells so good. So I actually had to remind myself that I was not commuting to my home office, but to my actual workplace. And I needed to hurry. It took me a while to get ready, as it sometimes does, but then I realized I might miss the train and the metro that I planned to take, so I needed to get it together. I felt a little agitated though and annoyed, because since the pandemic, the morning time trains, the rush hour trains I should say, are running like once every 17 minutes. And on the particular line that I take, they're actually single tracking, which means two trains are using the same track in different directions. So it really just slows things down. Now, before the pandemic, these trains were coming every like 3 to 4 minutes, and so I sort of admonished myself though for feeling inconvenienced when much of the world has really been turned upside down because of the pandemic. This was just a minor inconvenience. Now, there's also a small path on my way to the metro, a small hill on my path, I should say, and I lamented a little bit at how, because of the mask, I was literally like huffing and puffing, and it was like 90 degrees in the morning. So I nearly worked my way into what felt like an asthma attack, but really that was also a minor inconvenience. I had my inhaler, and really wearing the mask is not a big ask. So I made my way to Metro, and I looked up how long I had to wait for the train. 7 minutes. When it came, I was able to find a seat, and I remembered how in the before times, the train at this stop would have been packed with people. And I wondered, would we ever get back to that? I don't know, but I rode the train. I have to change trains, and when I did, I just missed the one I needed, and then the next one was delayed. and I felt annoyed. Why aren't the trains running timely? I felt inconvenienced. But I did not need to be in a hurry, and I made it safely to work and chit-chatted with my coworkers, some of whom I hadn't seen in 16 months, and I just got settled in for the day. All of my concerns at that point were about work things. How is the technology? What is my team doing? Where should I start with that day on my projects? Did I have any meetings? Where should my friends and I go for lunch? And in the middle of one meeting, we started getting alerts that one of the buildings on our campus was being evacuated because of a suspicious vehicle. Now, being on the Capitol complex means getting alerts all the time for random things, but this felt very serious and it felt very triggering. Many people that I know still see alerts, many of my colleagues, and think about the events of January 6th. It's really never far away from my mind, and so these alerts brought it front and center. And then the next several hours all unfolded very quickly. And while I was pretty calm, when I made it home, I actually found that I was trembling. I was shaking. And I was very cognizant that the day could have taken a turn for the worse. The long story short is that a man came out to the Capitol complex, parked in front of my workplace, and really then threatened to blow up 2 city blocks. While some of us were able to evacuate, some coworkers had to remain in the building because of directions from the police as the situation unfolded. My coworkers and I were very calm, and everyone truly cared about the well-being of everyone else. My phone was filled with messages from family and friends and acquaintances about the unfolding situation and whether we were all okay. Once we were out of the building, we walked pretty far away, and I wondered about my coworkers who were still in the situation, but I was also relieved to be out of harm's way. Later, I saw online that some people didn't believe it was real, some called it a distraction for what was going on in Afghanistan and the rest of the world. And then some people would say, well, they got him and he didn't have that much in the car, it wouldn't have done anything. And it was all very real to me. And I can't help but wonder, what if he did have tons of explosives in the vehicle and decided to detonate? Would my loved ones know how much I cared about them? Would my life have mattered here? Would I have left a positive impact on this planet? So many thoughts have gone through my mind since Thursday. And I don't want to dwell on the incident itself because this post isn't really about that. It's more of how all of the minor inconveniences of the day melted away in the face of potential danger. It is really about how when faced with the what ifs, the things that I thought about, the important things in my life really did come to the forefront. And it also made me look at the minor inconveniences in a new light. There's a Taoist fable that goes like this. A farmer had only one horse. One day his horse ran away. His neighbor said, "I'm so sorry. This is such bad news. You must be upset." The man said, "We'll see." A few days later, the horse came back with 20 wild horses following. The man and his son corralled all 21 horses. His neighbor said, "Congratulations, this is such great news. You must be so happy." The man just said, "We'll see." One of the wild horses kicked the man's son, his only son, breaking both of his legs. His neighbor said, I'm so sorry. This is such bad news. You must be upset." The man just said, "We'll see." The country went to war, and every able-bodied young man was drafted to fight. The war was terrible and killed every young man, but the farmer's son was spared since his broken legs prevented him from being drafted. His neighbor said, "Congratulations. This is such good news. You must be so happy." The man said, "We will see." I feel that sometimes when inconveniences happen, we can look at some things as bad, right? But in other situations, it might be leading to something good. Thursday was filled with inconveniences for me. I didn't get to do the work I planned. I didn't get to have lunch with my friends as planned. But I did get a very swift and speedy reminder to appreciate this life because it is so fragile. I consider myself as someone who loves life, and I feel a deep sense of gratitude to be able to make it home, to love and hug on my loved ones, to tell my friends and family that I love them. I took the next day off, but I was a little agitated, admittedly, because everything just seemed to go on as though nothing happened. I needed time to process that trauma, and I will give myself the space and grace to do that as it rises up in my mind. I also won't let the fear of what ifs, prevent me from living, from going to work, or from doing anything. But I could sense the stress and anxiety building inside of me. And I suppose, like the farmer in this fable, I will have to see. I know, though, that I do feel more inclined to take time for myself, to tell people, the people that I love and care about, that I love them. And if you are watching this, I love you. And to savor everything that feels like joy, like happiness, like love. My message today is that life can bring the unexpected. We can feel inconvenienced. And yet, out of all of that, there might be some nugget of a reminder that we can't take anything for granted. Most of all, life itself. I hope that wherever you are this week, or whenever you're watching this, that the stars shine brightly over you, and that, as one friend said to me, that you walk in the light, and that you are protected from the ills of the world. I shared this quote from L.R. Nost on my Instagram page and with my team after the incident. I do think that it's worth repeating here. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break. All things can mend. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. For everything wrong in the world, I do believe that there are always good people who will and who are rising to the occasion. You may not see them, but they're there. They're doing, they're helping, they're changing, and they are casting a loving light on a world that needs it so very much. If you don't see it, just remember that you can always be it. One small step at a time can take you further than you ever know is possible. So may you be blessed, protected, and may there be divine intervention and intercession wherever in the world it is needed right now. Thank you so much. I hope you have a peaceful week.